There we go. Perfect. So while we're waiting just a few minutes, put in the chat where you are located at. I am in Kentucky. I had a flight this morning. I left Virginia and flew into Kentucky today. But the funny thing is that I woke up this morning with my right eyelid swollen. I thought, oh my God, have I got pink eye? Have I got a sty? So that's why I don't have any makeup on tonight. You are getting the authentic, no makeup version of Sharon tonight. So um, it is what it is. All right. All right. Well, welcome to tonight's live. I am so excited to be here with you because we are going to be talking about something that is truly life-changing. We are going to be talking about 10 ways to build an amazing life after divorce, or what I like to call the 10 ways to bloom. So, yeah, well, thanks, Beth. So, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Sharon Daltrey. I'm the divorce breakthrough coach, and I am the owner and CEO of Bloom and Balance. I have been practicing in the medical field now for over 24 years, and I have been a nurse practitioner for the last 10 years. I am a certified neurotransformational coach, and I feel very privileged that I get to be here tonight with you all and get to share my knowledge with you and hopefully be able to help you get through a difficult time in your life. So I know so many of you are here because you feel stuck, lost, or just unsure of how to move forward in life, right? Well, maybe you're carrying guilt, feeling like you've lost yourself, or wondering if happiness is even possible after everything that you've been through. I just want you to know that it is absolutely possible. I am living proof of that. And tonight I am going to show you exactly how to do it. But before we dive in, let me know in the comments what is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now in moving forward after divorce. I want you to drop it in the chat for me. I want this to be a conversation, not just me talking at you. Okay. I'm going to try putting my phone up here just so I can make sure I see all the comments. So I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to think about yourself like a bank account. Every time you give your time or your energy or your love to other people, every time you do that, you're making withdrawals from your bank account. If you are anything like most women on this earth, you have been withdrawing nonstop. You've been raising the kids, you've been supporting your partner, you've been showing up for your family and your friends. You're running on empty, right? Well, your bank account is overdrawn or getting darn well close to being overdrawn. But I want you to recognize that your bank account is overdrawn. So if it is, I want you to put I in the chat if you feel like your bank account is overdrawn. Hey, Patty. Like, what happens when a bank account has more withdrawals than deposits? It goes bankrupt. Some of you are sitting here today emotionally, mentally, spiritually bankrupt. You've never learned or given yourself permission to deposit into yourself. So let me ask you this. How are you investing into you? Have you even stopped to consider that maybe the first path on actually being the good mom, the good partner, the good sister, the good daughter or employee all the things you're trying to be good at. Maybe the first step is being good to you. So I'm asking you tonight, how are you investing in you? Yeah, I hear you, Patty. Depleted life. Yep. So these 10 steps we are going to talk about tonight are not just ideas. They are exactly what I used in my own journey and what I now teach inside my Bloom with Balance program. So the first way or the first step that we're going to talk about tonight is breaking free from guilt and shame. But before we do that, we can't release guilt and shame if we don't understand them. So let's talk about them. Let's break them down. Guilt is the feeling that you did something wrong. It's the emotional discomfort that arises when your actions don't align with your values. Guilt can serve a purpose. It nudges you towards making amends or learning from past mistakes. It's action-based and can often be resolved. Now, shame, on the other hand, is much deeper. It's the belief that you are the something that's wrong. So instead of focusing on a mistake you made, shame attacks your identity and who you are, and it convinces you that you are fundamentally unworthy or broken. So let's look at what an example of this looks like when it relates to your marriage. Imagine you ended your marriage and now your children are struggling with the change. If you feel guilty, you might say, I hurt my children by leaving, or I need to find ways to support them and help them heal. Now, if you feel shame, you may say something like, I'm a terrible mother. I ruined my children's lives. I don't deserve to be happy. So, can you see the difference there? If you can, put it in the chat if you recognize the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt and shame will keep you stuck. I know because I let them control me for so many years. I thought I had to punish myself, that I wasn't worthy of happiness, but I realized something very powerful. That self-punishment does not create healing. Self-forgiveness does. So ask yourself something. What if I started speaking to myself with compassion instead of criticism? What would that look like? How would that make a difference in your life? You can start rewriting the story you tell yourself right now, here tonight. So instead of, I ruined everything, you can say things like, you know what? I made a mistake, but I'm growing and I'm learning. Now, step 2 is rebuilding your self-love and your confidence. So let me tell you, after my divorce, I had no clue who I was anymore. I had spent so long in the role of being a wife and a mom that I didn't even recognize myself. The truth is that rebuilding confidence starts with actually reconnecting to yourself. True healing begins within, and the foundation of your emotional transformation starts with how you see and value yourself. So, self love is not just about feeling good about yourself, which a lot of people think. It's actually about deeply respecting, honoring, and nurturing yourself, regardless of external circumstances. It is recognizing that your worth is not determined by your past mistakes or the validation of others. It's about choosing yourself every single day. So imagine looking in the mirror, but one day it shatters into 1,000 pieces. At first you see all the wreckage, right? You see all the sharp edges, the broken reflection, the version of yourself that looks unrecognizable. But how many of you have found yourself like that? That you're seeing all this wreckage? Maybe after your divorce or after a heartbreak or a trauma. Well, let me tell you something. That shattered glass can be turned into a masterpiece. When an artist creates a mosaic, they don't use whole pieces. They take the broken parts of something and they make it even more beautiful than before. That's what self-love does. It doesn't erase your past. You don't pretend that those broken edges are not there. It turns your pain into purpose and makes something breathtaking out of something that was once broken. So, what's one thing you loved about yourself before your marriage? I want you to drop it in the comments for me. I want you to start turning your broken mirror into a mosaic by looking in the mirror every morning and saying one thing that you love about yourself, even if you don't fully believe it yet. So let's go to step number 3. Let's talk about fear and self-doubt. Fear is a sneaky little devil. It tells us that we're not good enough, that we'll fail, that we'll always be alone. But here's the truth. Fear is just a thought, and thoughts can be changed. So imagine this. Imagine you're at a shopping mall and you see this perfect gift for your child or your best friend or your ex who barely said thank you the last time without hesitation. You would pull out your wallet and you would pay for that in a second. So, how many of you are givers in the chat? Put it in the chat if you are a giver. Now, I want you to imagine you're walking through that same mall, and for the first time in a long time, you see something for you. Maybe it's a course, maybe it's a coaching program, anything that's actually for you. It could be an experience that could change your life. So, whether it's a retreat or a vacation, and then suddenly that voice creeps into your head and says, I can't spend that much on myself. That's too expensive. It's not a good time. Maybe later. Ladies, let me ask you something. Why is it so easy for us to invest in everyone else, but when it comes time to invest in ourselves, it's a luxury instead of a necessity? Too many people think that self-love is about feeling good in the moment, right? But the best form of self-love is by actually investing in you. Oprah Winfrey says something that completely changed my mind about this. She said, the greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change their future just by changing their attitude. So, what if step 1 of us rewriting our future is changing all of our beliefs about putting us first? Investing in ourselves when the stars align, or when the time is right, or when life slows down, that's never going to happen. You do not wait to feel confident to invest in yourself. You invest in yourself and then you feel confident, right? Confidence comes from taking action, not from waiting. It is so easy to stay in survival mode after divorce, just getting through the day, feeling like life is happening to you. But what if you made a shift? What if instead of just surviving, you started thriving? What do you want your life to look like in 6 months from now? Or a year from now? Instead of focusing on what you lost or what could have been, Why not focus on what you could create? Let go of that fear and take action. Do one thing this week that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, something you've been avoiding because of fear. And put in the chats, tell me one small action that you can actually take this week. Go ahead, ladies. Tell me in the chat what's one small action that you can take this week to move you closer to your goal. So let's look at step number 4. Owning your story and stop people pleasing. We all do it. My best friend people pleases all the time. I try to have conversations with her about this. Because I spent so many years trying to live up to other people's expectations. I wanted people to approve of me, to validate me. But here's the hard truth for you. Your healing isn't about them. It's about you. You are not defined by your divorce. It is part of your story, but it is not your whole story. Maybe you did make mistakes. Maybe you were the one who left. Maybe you were left. Maybe things didn't turn out the way you thought they would. But none of that makes you unworthy of happiness or a fresh start. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your ex moving on and thought, why do they get to be happy while I'm sitting here struggling? Or maybe you scroll through social media and you see happy couples out there and it makes you feel like you'll never have that again. Or maybe you see other divorced women who seem to have it all figured out and you wonder, why am I still feeling lost? Well, here's the truth. Comparison is a distraction. It steals your joy, your energy, and your focus. So when you're constantly looking at what other people have or what they are doing, you miss the opportunities to build something amazing for yourself. One of my favorite affirmations that I use every single day, I promise you, I use this affirmation every single day, is I compare myself only to my highest self. And I tell all my clients this, all of them, that this affirmation alone for me has truly been a game changer as I have moved forward in my life. So instead of looking at someone else's happiness as proof that you're behind, use it as proof that good things are possible. If it's possible for them, it's possible for you too. So when you see someone in love again, that just means that love is still out there. When you see someone thriving after divorce, that just means you can thrive too. And when you see someone happy, that means happiness isn't off limits for you. So ask yourself, who am I living for? Me or someone else's expectations? Now, the 5th way to build an amazing life is to cultivate inner peace and emotional balance. Peace isn't something you find outside of yourself. It's something that you create within yourself. So some daily practices that you could use to bring in or to live this inner peace is you could do, 5 minutes of deep breathing. You could do journaling. You could, have a simple evening routine for relaxation. I have this 5 minute gratitude journal that I use every day. And I love it because in the at the first thing it asks for is I am grateful for. And then every day it gives me like a new little question, like something that fills me with joy is what? What can help me achieve my goals today? What do I see when I look in the mirror? And then I get to answer those. So I get something new every single day. And then it tells me to list out my daily affirmations. So those same affirmations that I use every single day, I write them out every morning before I even get out of the bed. And then right before I get ready to go to bed at night, I go back to that same journal and it asks me different questions every day. It'll say something like, I'd like to achieve this tomorrow. What's something beautiful I saw today? Did I accomplish what I wanted today? And then the final question is what did I learn today? Because you'd be surprised that if you're in a negative state of being, that you will not see all the small things in life that's happening around you. You won't recognize the things that you've learned. But by just simply doing a 5 minute journaling before you go to bed at night or when you wake up in the morning is a game changer. And I don't know how many of you have already downloaded my 118 journal prompts. If you haven't, I strongly recommend signing up for them. I created them so that you could take back you and get reacquainted with yourself. And they're free. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download them if you haven't. So choose one mindfulness habit and commit to it this week. So whether it's the journaling or it's the deep breathing or it's just a simple evening routine for relaxation, it's up to you, whatever you want to do, but just pick one. Now, the sixth way to build an amazing life is creating a vision for your future. When I finally stopped looking at the past and I started imagining my future, everything shifted for me. So instead of focusing on what I lost, I actually started focusing on what I could create. So let's do some quick math right quick. Let's think about the last time you spent $200 on something disposable. Maybe it was for dinner or some clothes, or maybe it was some gifts for your girlfriends or for your kids or your coworkers. How long did that last? I want you to think about this. What if that same $200 had went to something that actually could transform your mindset or your career or your confidence? Something that doesn't just fade, but actually multiplies and keeps you giving you more and more in your life. Investing in yourself isn't an expense. It's the only gift, actually, the only investment that actually guarantees a return for life. So I want you to close your eyes for a minute and I want you to picture your life 1 year from now. What do you see? What do you feel? What does that look like for you? Now, I want you to write down 3 things you want to create in the next year. And don't forget that back in January, I did a masterclass on setting your goals for 2025. So you can go back and refer to that masterclass and pull ideas from that to help you create your future and what you want to happen over the next year. So, the seventh way of building this amazing life after divorce is setting healthy boundaries. Ladies, boundaries are not selfish. I do not know how many times I have to say this. They are necessary for your peace and for your healing. I used to say yes to everything because I was afraid of disappointing people. But guess what? Every time I said yes to them, I was saying no to me. So imagine your life as this beautiful garden. This garden is yours to nurture, to protect, to enjoy. It's filled with all the things that bring you joy, your peace, your energy, your dreams, your relationships that truly support you. Now, think about a garden without a gate or a fence around it. Anyone can walk in at any time. Some people might appreciate its beauty and they may add some value to it, while others might trample your flowers. They might pull up your plants or even leave behind some weeds. Without a gate, you have no control over who enters your garden. You're constantly cleaning up other people's messes. You're feeling drained and you're wondering why your garden never seems to thrive. But when you put up that gate, when you create those boundaries, you take back control. You decide who gets access under what conditions. You allow in the people who respect and who nourish your space. And you keep out all those who bring negativity, disrespect, or drama. A gate doesn't mean you shut people out completely. It just means that you decide who gets in and how they treat your space. Healthy boundaries protect your energy so that you can show up as your best self for the people who truly matter to you. You are the gardener of your life. You get to decide what stays, what goes, and who gets access. So set your boundaries with confidence, and I promise you, your life will flourish. So after thinking about your life and boundaries, I want you to identify one area where you need to set a boundary. Raise your hand in the comments if you're committing to honoring yourself more. Yes. All right. So, the eighth step to this amazing life after divorce is building yourself a support system. You cannot do this alone. I tried, I failed. And the real breakthrough happens when you surround yourself with the right people. That's what happened for me. When I started surrounding myself with the right people, I was able to grow. So I want to ask you, who are the people who truly support you? And who are the people who drain you? I can't find your support system for you. Only you can do that. So go out there and find or strengthen your support system. Now, the ninth way is to rediscover your joy. When was the last time you laughed? I hear so many women tell me that they are anxious, they're sad, they're struggling, they're depleted. You know, they are a loner. When was the last time you had fun or truly felt alive? How many of you think I'll feel joy again once everything in my life is perfect? Or I don't know who I am without my past life. Or you say to yourself, I don't have time for joy because I have too much to fix. I have too much going on. There's not enough time in the day. I don't feel like having fun. So imagine you had this favorite song, one that just made you feel alive every time you heard it. It was that song you sang at the top of your lungs in the car. You know, the one that lifted your spirits on a hard day, the one that made you feel like you. Mine personally was Roar by Katy Perry. I don't know how many of you know that song, but that was my jam. But over time, this life, it just kept getting noisier and noisier. The stress of divorce, the weight of the guilt, the pressure to keep going, it all became louder and louder and louder than your favorite song. And then maybe you just stopped singing it. Maybe you even forgot what the song sounded like or forgot the words. But here's the thing, your song never disappeared. It's still right here inside of you, waiting to be played. So do something this week just for fun. Think about, what is it that you like to do? What would be fun? No guilt, no justification, just fun. Now, the 10th way to build this amazing life is to take action and commit to yourself. So here's the truth. This live right here tonight is only the first step. If you truly want to transform, you need support, you need accountability, and a plan. Maybe some of you feel like it's too late. Too many years you've spent giving to others, and now you're at the bottom of your priority list. And I love what Michelle Obama says about it. When you do a better job, it's about putting ourselves higher on our own to-do list. Your life's not over because a relationship ended or because you've been putting yourself last for so many years. Every time you make a decision to invest in yourself, you are rewriting your own story. You are telling the world, and more importantly, you are telling yourself that you matter. Amen. Yes, ma'am. Right now, you are at a crossroads. You can keep trying to figure it out all alone, sitting through endless advice, hoping something clicks, or you can take the proven shortcut to healing, to confidence, and the life that you truly deserve. If I could hand you a step-by-step roadmap, one that removes the guesswork, helps you release the emotional weight of divorce, and empowers you to move forward with clarity, would you take it? How many of you would take it? That's exactly why I created Bloom with Balance. This isn't just another program. It's the roadmap I wish I had when I was stuck in the pain and in the overwhelm from my divorce. It's a step-by-step framework designed to help you not just get through this, but to completely transform your life faster, easier, and with more confidence than you've ever thought possible. So here's what happens when you follow this process. The first thing is that you release the guilt and the shame that has kept you stuck. Second, You rebuild your confidence from the inside out. Third, you create a clear vision for your future and one that excites you. Fourth, you attract healthier relationships, starting with the one you have with yourself. And fifth, you wake up every morning with a sense of peace and purpose, knowing you are finally living for you. So I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from today. Are you still feeling lost, weighed down, and stuck in the same cycle? Or are you standing strong, confident, and excited about the life you've built? I've helped countless women make that shift faster and with far less struggle than I went through. And if you're ready, I can help you too. So here's what I want you to do right now. For those of you who are feeling that pull, feeling that nudge, I want you to click the link that I'm going to drop in the chat. Just a second. This link is going to take you to a page where you can schedule a personal call with me. And on that call, we will get clear on exactly where you are, what's holding you back, and how you can move forward with confidence. What did Tamara say? Tamara said, what was number 2? Oh, you missed number 2? Yeah, absolutely. It'll be on the replay as well. Number 2 is to rebuild the self-love and confidence. Okay. But you can go back through and watch the replay, and it'll be there for you. Okay. So, I really wish that I could sit here and I could hear everyone's story and I could understand exactly what you've gone through and what you need to work on as it relates to the trauma from your divorce and the things that you're trying to become going forward, because every single one of you is unique and you have your own path in front of you and your own path behind you. And I just wish that I could go through all of that with you while you're here on this call right now, but that would be completely impossible. So that's why we need to sit down on this call together and really get clear on the unique journey, on your unique journey, where you are starting from based on today and where you've been and where we are taking you. And that is unique for all of you. Honestly, how many of you don't feel comfortable about putting some of what you're going through or feeling in the chat right now? Maybe there are some things that you have been through that you need help with or need to talk about, but you don't feel comfortable putting it in the chat. I get it. That's why on this call, we will get to have a private conversation in a safe space where there's nothing that you could say to me where I would ever judge you that would shock me, or where I would ever shame you or make you feel guilty about anything that has happened to you. This is your time to get some help. This is going to be the most important call that you've had this year or maybe ever had in your entire life. I know how hard it can be to navigate this journey alone. I did it. And I want you to have the opportunity to experience a real shift without any pressure. This is my way of giving back and helping you take that first step towards healing. And by the end of the call, If we both feel like working together is a good fit, great. We can talk about that and what that would look like. But there's absolutely no obligation to on this call. If you're feeling called to do this program, maybe you have some questions or have something that you want to get really clear on. So here's what I want you to do. Here's how I want you to prepare for the call. I want you to write down all of your questions, any of the questions about what we have taught on here tonight. Any questions for you about how this would work for your unique life or your unique circumstance right now? Write down everything. How much is the program? How long is the program? What type of women does it work for? Anything that you can think of, I want you to write it down. Because this is where I will get you super clear on what you need to exactly move forward. And by the end of the call, whether you're a good fit for the program or not, you're going to be leaving that call with a plan. So over the last hour or so, 45 minutes or so, we've walked through the 10 ways to create an amazing life after divorce. There we go. Okay, I got it put in the chat for you. Empowerment is about stepping boldly into your life that you envision, owning your story, and making choices that align with your worth and your purpose. So I want you to carry this word in your heart as you move forward. It's your reminder that you have everything within you to create the life that you deserve. And for those of you who have already scheduled a call with me, I am so excited to connect. I look forward to seeing if we are a good fit and how I can best support you on your journey to peace and purpose and empowerment. And remember, you are not broken. You are not unworthy. You are a woman in bloom. And I cannot wait to see you on the call and see you step into your power. So I just want to say thank you all tonight for hopping on here. Thank you, Tamara and Elena, Patty, Beth. Thank you all so much for hopping on here tonight. I hope you all have a good week, and I will see you soon.